गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भवानी शंकरौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम्। We will have the Namasmarana and then we will do the invocation, and thereafter we will get into the main topic, Sharanagati, the path of surrender. Charuhasam Mandaramalam Charuhasam Charuhasam Mandaramalam Mandaramalam Pitavastram Pitavastram Padmabhiramam Padmabhiramam Sadanandam Sadanandam Samsaraparam Samsaraparam Charuhasam Mandaramalam Mandaramalam Pitavastram Padmabhiramam Padmabhiramam Sadanandam Sadanandam Samsaraparam Samsaraparam Lasat Kundala Lasat Kundala स्निग्धकेशं स्निग्धकेशं लक्ष्मीनाथं लक्ष्मीनाथं विश्वनाथं विश्वनाथं जगन्नाथं जगन्नाथं देवदेवं देवदेवं लक्ष्मीनाथं लक्ष्मीनाथं विश्वनाथं विश्वनाथं जगन्नाथं जगन्नाथं देवदेवं देवदेवं प्रभो विष्णुं प्रभो विष्णुं विभो विष्णुं विभो विष्णुं प्रभो विष्णुं विभो विष्णुं सदानन्दं सदानन्दं संसारपारं संसारपारं पीतवस्त्रं पीतवस्त्रं पद्माभिरामं 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 we will have the slokas of invocation. They are all connected. The invocation slokas are all connected with Bhagavan Vishnu. We will see the meanings of these slokas later on in the due course of the discourse. But initially, we will try to chant these slokas and invoke the grace and blessings of Bhagavan Vishnu. In the due course of these satsangs for this week, we will also have the slokas connected with the path of surrender, Sharanagati, in relation to Bhagavan Vishnu, Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra ji, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and also Bhagavati Bhavani. So that is why we have all these four gods pictures, so that we can relate to this. How these slokas will get related in the due course of these talks, that all depends upon the divine will. But all these slokas of Sharanagati are connected with the writings of Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji. In his utmost devotion, he has from his within manifested these beautiful slokas. So we will take the help of these slokas in trying to understand the importance and the import of Sharanagati. Chidamsham vibhum nirmalam nirvikalpam Chidamsham vibhum nirmalam nirvikalpam niriham nirakaram niriham nirakaram omkaravacyam omkaravacyam gunatitam avyaktam गुणातीतमव्यक्तम् एकं तुरीयम् एकं तुरीयम् परं ब्रह्म यं वेद परं ब्रह्म यं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते तस्मै नमस्ते विशुद्धं शिवं शान्तम् आद्यन्तशून्यम् विशुद्धं शिवं शान्तम् आद्यन्तशून्यम् जगज्जीवनम् जगज्जीवनम् ज्योतिरानन्दरूपम् ज्योतिरानन्दरूपम् अधिग्देशकाल अधिग्देशकाल व्यवच्छेदनीयम् व्यवच्छेदनीयम् त्रयीवक्तियं वेद त्रयीवक्तियं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते तस्मै नमस्ते लपन्नच्युतानन्त लपन्नच्युतानन्त गोविन्द विष्णो गोविन्द विष्णो मुरारे हरे नाथ मुरारे हरे नाथ नारायणेति नारायणेति यथानुस्मरिष्यामि यथानुस्मरिष्यामि भक्त्या भवन्तम् भक्त्या भवन्तम् तथा मे दयाशील तथा मे दयाशील देव प्रसीद देव प्रसीद तथा मे दयाशील देव प्रसीद देव प्रसीद हरिः ओम। शरणागति, the path of surrender. The objective of surrender is the elimination of mental and emotional programs. When we look into these mental and emotional programs, we come to see and also understand that our behavior, our expressions, our responses are all conditioned by these programs. And because our responses, our expressions, our interactions are all conditioned by these programs, our experiences are also in accordance with these programs. What we experience also is according to the program, and how we respond to the situations also is according to these programs. We think with our intelligence, we are programming so many things in this world, which act according to our instructions by pushing few buttons. We are very happy and pleased that we have in our hands the remote controls by which we push few buttons, and then we feel so delighted to see that there are things that are functioning according to this pushing of the buttons. But we do not know that we ourselves are pushed with some buttons which are connected with these programs. So, the main objective of surrender is elimination of the limiting, the confining, the restricting mental and emotional programs. As a result of this, what happens is our mind gets out of the conditioning, meaning we will be attaining an unconditioned mind. The conditioned mind is stuck where it is, but the unconditioned mind evolves, and ultimately it leads to the transcendence of the mind itself. When we decondition the mind, when we take it out of these programs, what results is the transcendence of the mind itself, meaning evolution of the mind to the higher states and higher levels of consciousness. There where we experience only love and peace. Otherwise, in these programmed levels, in these lower levels, other than peace and love, we experience various things. Many other things which we are not comfortable with, which we do not want to experience, but we cannot but do anything else but experiencing them and going through them. All because of this programming. So, it is not merely the intellectual thinking and analyzing and rational planning which takes us out of this programming, but when we look at it from another way, it is the surrender, the Sharanagati, the path of surrender, which certainly takes us beyond this programming. It takes us out of these programs. There are various ways by which we can get out of this programming, but one of the most easiest and surest ways is Sharanagati, the path of surrender. The more we surrender, the more loving we become. Normally, the more we get interested in the other, whether the other is an object or a situation or a person, we get into the relationship, we get more closer, and we think we become more loving. Even though we become more possessive, we become more attached, but we think that we are becoming more loving, and we think that alone is the way of becoming more loving. But here we will come to see and understand that the more we surrender, the more loving we become. Not only that, we become more loving, but we also become more relaxed. When we do not surrender certain things that are there burdening our mind, we are not relaxed, we are stressed. We think that the causes of the stress are external factors. But primarily we come to understand in this path of surrender that the stress is caused by internal factors, our own mental programming. Because we are not able to get out of it, we are getting stressed. So, when we are able to surrender, the more we surrender, the more loving we become. The more we surrender, the more relaxed we become. Not only that, more happy also. we become more happy. Generally, what the mind thinks is, in order to become happy, more sense indulgences, more desire satisfaction, more wish fulfillment is the way, is the means. That is a normal way. If we want to become happy, if we ask anyone or if we ask our own mind, it immediately says, create more opportunities to become happy. How? Make it conducive for more sense indulgence. Acquire more objects. Fulfill more desires. Satisfy our wants and wishes. Then we will become happy. That is a normal way. But here, it is clearly understood, when we actually begin to practice this, then we come to understand that the more we surrender, more happy we become. Our happiness is connected with surrender. The general thinking is happiness is connected with acquiring, possessing, owning, gaining, getting, grabbing, hoarding, stealing, borrowing, and finally experiencing. But here, giving up, surrendering, that leads us into the state of more happiness. In addition to that, our life becomes easy going. Otherwise, everywhere we will see a problem. We will see a cause for our mental agitation. We will discover, we will uncover these things. We are very gifted and talented in this. When everything is fine, we can discover a problem there because of the programming inside. The mind feels restless when it has no programs to discover, no problems to discover. So, we make our life more tougher. That is why by surrendering, life becomes easy going. We become more loving, we become more relaxed, and we become more happy, and life becomes easy going. When life becomes like this, what happens is, many of the people who are around us start getting attracted towards us. Not because we are doing something to attract them, to gain their attention, to grab their attention, but because we become more loving, we are more relaxed, we feel more happy, and life for us is easy going because of these qualities in us, because of these feelings that are expressed through us to the world around us. They get more attracted towards us. Not because we are in any power, not because we are in any position, not because we have a great status, not because we have got lot of influence and money, not because we will be useful to them, but generally in the world, these are the factors because of which they become attracted or they become closer. But here, it is not because of those things. Inside, the internal presence starts attracting. Because the vibration that is there, which is connected with the love, with the happiness, with the peace, with the relaxation, with easygoing way of life, this will start pulling others, attracting others. So, people around us come closer to us. They become close to us. Why? Because they feel very comfortable in our presence. Normally, we are trying to become comfortable in others' presence, and we are requesting them to make our life comfortable for our living. That is why we are always asking others, you make my life comfortable, you make my mind comfortable, you make my heart comfortable, my intellect manageable, my ego bearable. That is what we are always asking others, we are requesting others. That is why we always have complaints about others. We always have something to blame upon others. But here in the path of surrender, because all these mental programs and emotional programs are surrendered, the mind becomes lighter, it evolves, it transcends these limitations, and then the love, the happiness, the relaxation, the easy way of living starts happening and people start coming closer. There is no need to make any appeal to anybody that I am available here, you become closer to me. Automatically people will be drawn because my mind is becoming very pure and we are becoming very loving. Others will start feeling the comfort. The more closer they are to us, they feel more comfortable. In our presence, something happens to them. Something is touched inside them. Without we doing or attempting to do anything, they feel the comfort. Because the very vibration that is emanated out of us will start soothing them, giving them the required comfort, giving them that required soothing feeling. Automatically they will feel more closer to us. So when we are able to help people indirectly, effortlessly, to become more comfortable in our presence, that is a great service which we can do. Otherwise, when we attempt to do service, we are agitated and we create more agitation in the minds of others also. Because every act of service, we want to have certain fulfillments, certain demands to be fulfilled, certain requirements to be met with. We have come there to serve, but while serving, we want all these demands to be satisfied, fulfilled. That is why even those people, externally they will announce that they have come to serve, but internally they are agitated, so they bring more agitation into that service also, wherever they are, in the sphere of service. And then they start blaming the people who are there. It's all because of our own incapacity, incapability, inability to handle our own mind. The very dissatisfaction we experience is not because of anything. It is only because we are not able to understand how to handle our mind and our mental programs, which generate more thoughts, endless thoughts, and which also give rise to feelings, which also give rise to emotions. So we need to transcend all of them. So that is why the path of surrender is very important, which makes us truly transcend all these limitations. As we surrender the negative that is there inside us, the more we get into our own power. There is an inherent internal power inside us. We get into that power when the more we surrender the negative. Otherwise, the negative will have the power. And we are controlled by that negative. Not knowing about it, we think we are wisely acting and reacting in a given situation, but actually we are controlled by the negative. Because we had been living with it, we don't feel that this is a thing to be transcended. We got accustomed to it, we got habituated to it. When we perceive something outside, we think that perception itself is real. But according to this path of surrender, we come to understand that our perception also is colored, conditioned because of the programming. We perceive things in that particular way. Unless that perception is set right, our experiences will not be set right. Because the perception is colored, the understanding also is colored, experience also is colored. Then what we see that the world is a source of disturbance. The people are a source of agitation. Situations are a source of annoyance, which appeals to our mind as real. But in truth it is not so. Because our perception is like that. And we think what we perceive is real. Because we have only perceptions. That level of knowing the world which is there in front of us. So when we think that the perception is real, we cannot think a way out of it. So we go through it. We don't want to be in it, but we have to go through it. Someone said, wife and husband when they come together, because of their coming together, they become like two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin, but they cannot stand each other. Because two sides of the same coin. Coin is same, but two different sides. They don't meet each other. But somehow, in spite of they not being able to stand each other, still continue to be together like the two sides of the same coin. Coin is one, sides are two. They belong to one, but they don't stand. They don't see each other. They can't even see each other. In our mind also, there is a division like that. Our own mind, but there is a division. So we need to go beyond these divisions also. That is why it is said, as we surrender the negative, we come into our own power. And when we come into our own power, the happiness which was always there within, intrinsically, will come to surface, will come to manifest, and we come to experience it. Not that it is coming from any external source. It is coming from internal source only, which was always there, but we could not experience it. We were always looking at happiness which comes to us through external sources. But right now, we will come to understand that the happiness is coming from this very internal source. It was always there. It has come to our experiential level because we have surrendered. So because of this surrender, we become very loving. And amongst all the emotions, each emotion has a certain vibration. Among all of them, the most powerful energy vibrations are in love, are connected with love. When we have that love, that true, sincere, pure love, then the energy vibrations that are released, that are emanated, will automatically start influencing all around us. Just as when there is stress, when there is tension, when there is agitation inside the mind, even without we saying anything about it, people who are around us will be able to notice these things which are inside us by merely being in our presence. Sometimes they may look at our eyes, sometimes they may see the face, sometimes we might manipulate the looks of our eyes and face also, but still the people may feel that there is something which is not okay with us, because the energy vibrations that are emanated out of us, they will touch the others and they will feel not comfortable, even though we are manipulating, we are managing and presenting ourselves very nicely, but inside that is not okay. So that inside is easily recognized by others. The others need not be a great evolved soul or a highly attained master. Ordinary beings like you and I will be able to recognize the emanations from the level of consciousness in which the other person is. So that is the reason why the surrender will give us this opportunity to experience the inner happiness and also become so loving that our love will start making people feel comfortable and start helping them to attain more peace and more serenity inside their minds. In the process of surrendering, we need to take note of few things. It is not easy to surrender, even though it looks that surrender means kuch karne ka nahi hai. All that we have to do is surrender. Yes, but that is very difficult. Unless and until we understand the process and we are ready and willing to do it. So, the ego will offer its own resistances. Because the more we surrender, the ego loses its dominance over us, power over us, control over us, possession over us, position over us, power over us. It doesn't want to do. So it will mislead us, it will distract us, it will create certain bluffs. and we come to believe them. So that is why we need to understand these tricks that are played by the ego. So one of the tricks is resistance. It resists immediately. Surrender means it resists. This is not. Why we have to resist? Why we have to surrender? So it will not allow us to surrender. The resistance comes from inside. Anything that is connected with these mental and emotional programs, we need to surrender, but it resists. So that is why this resistance has to be addressed. We need to carefully look at it. Our own resistance has to be surrendered, which will later on make us surrender various other emotions, feelings which are not positive but mainly negative. So that resistance has to be surrendered. And when the resistance is surrendered, the feeling starts coming up, whatever feeling that is there inside us. Because our whole living style is connected with feelings. All the while we keep on expressing these feelings. They arise in us. They happen in us. Because there is so much of energy inside which is there, which is trying to come up and express itself in the form of these feelings and emotions. So, we need to allow that feeling to come up completely. And when that feeling comes up, along with it there are sensations that are there are thoughts that are there, and there are egoistic satisfactions that are there. When I am miserable, when I make others know that I am not okay, there is ego satisfaction there. That others will shower some sympathy, others will give some attention, others will fulfill my demand, others will satisfy my requirement. That is why people try to maintain that sadness, because that is more beneficial according to the business mind. It is more beneficial because otherwise people are not paying attention. So if I look sorrowful, then people give attention, people show concern, and then my ego gets satisfied. So that satisfaction of the ego will make the ego hold on to that sorrow and suffering and that remaining in that state. So where is the question of surrender? Where is the question of transcendence? Because it is satisfying to the ego. Because ego can remain like that. A petty, paltry, cheap satisfaction, which is nowhere in comparison with that real peace and happiness and joy we get by transcending and going beyond these cheap tricks of the ego. So that is why we have to allow that feeling to come up by surrendering the resistance. And when the feeling comes up, we have to surrender the sensation, and we have to surrender the thoughts that are associated with that. And we also have to surrender the egoistic satisfactions which are connected with it. When we are able to surrender, then we can experience a real freedom. We may have financial freedom, social freedom, political freedom, various other types of freedom, but we will not be free. We will still be bound. We will still feel that there is something that is lacking. We are not yet really free. So real freedom will not come because of money, position, power, name, fame, aggression, domination, manipulation. It will never come. It will never happen only through this. It will come only because of surrendering. When we surrender these negative feelings, negative emotions, and the sensations and the thoughts and the egoistic satisfactions, which is not easy to surrender. If I have a very negative thought about somebody, I collect a few people who are also having similar negative thoughts, and I group with that people, and then you go on generating more negative thoughts, and then there is egoistic satisfaction. The common hatred, common object of hatred, common object of negative expression will give egoistic satisfaction. We get drowned in those thoughts, and we find justifications for that. We are stuck there. We will never come out. Because what we are trying to say, I am disturbed, I am agitated, I am confused, I am suffering, all because you are not okay. That is what I am trying to say. All because you are not okay. So I level my complaint, I show my blame, I point out my finger, I raise my eyebrows. All that I do. Individually, collectively, group-wise, I do. But all the while what I am trying to say, I am pleading and begging, please make me peaceful. Which will never happen. Because our very approach is wrong. Because the problem is not there, the problem is here. The source is inside the problem. The source of the problem is inside. The problem is inside. So this has to be surrendered. Why anybody else will surrender for our sake? We want others to surrender to us. Don't we want that? We want everybody around us to follow our thinking, to accept our thoughts and suggestions, to act according to our expectations. That is what we are trying to do. That is why we have complained. That is why we have problems. Grandfather and granddaughter were sitting together. The granddaughter looked at the grandfather and asked, because grandfather had been telling various things to the granddaughter, so the granddaughter asked, Grandpa, did God made you? Who made you? She might have asked earlier. And grandfather must have told, God made me. So she asked, did God made you? The grandfather said, yes, God made me. She kept quiet. After 2 minutes, she again asked, Grandpa, did God make me? Grandfather said, yes, God made you also. And then the granddaughter said, God is doing a lot better job lately. So the granddaughter gives certificate. Because she finds the grandfather is just there talking to her all the while. And she has so many things to do. So that is why she feels she is better than the grandfather. So God is doing a lot better job lately. We need to do some job in order to handle the things that are there inside us, which are not making our life easygoing, which are not making us experience the happiness, which are not making us relaxed and stress-free, which are not making us more loving, but more doubting, more suspecting, more confusing, more conflicting. If our life is like that, when we look at others, more doubt, more suspicion, more confusion, more splitting, more dividing, more conflicting. That means what? We are caught up in this programming. So we need to get out of that. If we want more relaxation, if we want more happiness, if we want more love to happen inside our heart and in our lives, if we want people to feel connected to us without we doing anything to them, then we need to surrender. One person was telling about this to his friend. He said, my friend has a fine watchdog. My friend has a fine watchdog. At any suspicious noise, he wakes up and then he wakes the dog up and then it starts barking. Watchdog is supposed to watch any suspicious noise, first listen to it and then first watch it. But this watchdog is sleeping dog. The one who has the watchdog is waking up first and then wakes up the dog. That is what is happening to us also. When these programs are there, when these negativities are there, we need to recognize them first. But what happens is others will recognize them. That is why they complain. That is why they say, oh, this is not good, that is not okay, I can't stand this, I can't accept this, I can't adjust with this, why are you like this? Don't we get these things from others? Many times it happens. Others will start pointing out things to us because we are not watchful towards these things. So the path of surrender will not only make us become more watchful towards these things, because we can easily understand, if I am not peaceful, nothing is there outside which is creating that peacelessness. All that is there, it is there inside only. That is why I keep on seeking changes and changes and changes and changes and changes. If I don't like anything, I want to change. If I can't stand anything, I want to change. Not that I want to change myself, but I want to change something other than I. Thinking that by changing that I will be happy. But the truth here is, in the path of surrender, all that we need to do is change us, change ourselves, change within. In an interview, the interviewing officer was observing the credentials of a young applicant, candidate. After looking at all these things and also testing him in various things, he said, "Oh young man, do you think you can handle a variety of work? Because the job that you are going to take up, if we provide you that job opportunity, it involves variety of work. So, oh young man, do you think you can handle a variety of work?" And this man responded, "I ought to be able to, because I have had 12 different jobs in 4 months. 12 different jobs in 4 months I handled. Variety of job. That is not a positive factor there. That is a negative factor. Because why you have to change 12 jobs in 4 months? In 12 years it is okay. At least 12 months we can think of. 4 months 12 jobs. So that means what? The mind is constantly seeking change. Because it wants to manipulate the things that are there. Someone told me that in the Patna railway station, this note was written there. Because it is said, in Bihar, people generally don't buy tickets. Not everyone. So, the railway authorities have written it in this format, it seems. In the train, Ana free, Jana free. Ana free, Jana free. Coming also is free, going also is free. Pakade gaye to khana free. So if you are caught by the railway police or the TT, you will be jailed, and then afterwards khana is free. So if you want free khana, you can continue like this. There are various ways of passing on the suggestions connected with rectification of behavior. It can be told seriously, it can be told disturbingly, it can be told agitatingly, it can be told pleasingly, it can be told jovially. It all depends upon the consciousness level of the person who is telling this. The inside consciousness level of the person is high, it will come out in a very pleasing and jovial manner only. Not a hurting manner, pricking manner, piercing manner. Otherwise we think an opportunity arises ready to point out, pierce, prick, hurt, and then feel ego satisfaction inside. As if we have done a great job by pointing out things in others. Instead of that, if we point out things in us, it would be great. So, to become satisfied, the more easier way is surrendering. Two people were discussing. That also this discussion was connected with one workshop on art of satisfaction. Satisfying the man and the woman. They were discussing about that, art of satisfaction. They attended a workshop, in that they were discussing. So, one person asked, how to impress a woman? One person asked that, how to impress a woman? Because that person has attended the workshop, he started off. Point number 1. Maybe westernized approach was there in the workshop, so he was saying, wine her, dine her, call her. 4th one, hug her. 5th one, hold her. Next one, surprise her. Compliment her. Next one, smile at her. Laugh with her. Cry with her. Cuddle with her. Shop with her. Give her jewelry. Buy her flowers. Hold her hand. Write love letters. Go to the end of the earth and return back for her. Then you can impress a woman. If you have counted, 17 things are there to impress a woman. Then he asked how to impress a man. He said, the woman needs to say, I am impressed. That's all. Nothing else. Don't need to do all these things. The woman needs to say, I am impressed. That is all it is. Maybe because of impressed cash, that is a different story. I am impressed. Finished. He is impressed. More tougher the mind is, the more harder it is to get pleased. The greater will be dependency upon the external factors. When we start surrendering, the mind becomes more lighter, life becomes more easier to live with. The purpose of surrender is the elimination of the ego. The ego, ahankara, is fearful, dreadful and limited. Because it is the main programmer there. When it is surrendered, then what happens is, when the ego itself is surrendered, that will not happen unless and until first we surrender the resistance, then the feeling and the emotion and the negativities, then slowly we come to the ego. But if we are able to surrender the ego, then the benefit is the inner self that is there, it stands forth shining in its pristine glory. It was always there. Not that it has come suddenly from somewhere, the inner self came. It was always there, but it was covered by all these programs and conditionings connected with negativity. That is why we could not experience it. We could not see it. We could not feel it. We could not encounter it. Even though we are told by others, we read about it somewhere and we gain the knowledge, but we don't come to face with it because all this is there. So, when we are able to surrender the ego, the inner self stands forth shining in its pristine glory. And that is the most powerful thing that is there inside us, that is the inner self. The mechanism of surrender is to transcend the illusions. The illusions of the world. When we transcend the illusions of the world, we come to reach the ultimate truth behind the world. The ultimate truth is supporting the world to make the world exist. The truth is there, the support of the truth is there, which is the substratum, which is the adhishtanam, without which the world cannot remain. So when we surrender the ego, go beyond the illusions, through the surrender, we reach the ultimate truth which is there behind the very world and which is called as the self-realization, in other words. Knowing the substratum of the world, the support of the world, transcending the limitations, transcending the illusions, and recognizing the presence of the substratum and support of the world itself is called here as self-realization. And to discover that is to discover the very basis of the mind itself. The mind has a basis, and that is discovered in this manner. All thoughts, all feelings that are there in the mind have this main basic support because of which they can exist. So when we contact that support, the source which is there, then it becomes easy for us to transcend all these things. The goal of surrender is the elimination of the very source of all suffering and pain. If there is suffering and pain in our lives, how to eliminate the source of all suffering and pain is the goal of surrender. We are trying to know about the purpose of surrender, mechanism of surrender, and now the goal of surrender. We already tried to know about the objective of surrender. So the goal of surrender is the elimination of the very source of all suffering and pain. How does it happen? When enough negative feelings have been relinquished. People have a very fanciful idea that if I have to go into the beyond, I have to relinquish. So they think they have to relinquish their house, property, people, so many things, position, duty, responsibility, place, situation, institution, so many things. But wherever they go, these programs are there only. Whatever they do, these conditions are there only. Relinquishment has to happen within. We have to relinquish the very source of suffering and pain. The negative feelings have to be relinquished. Once the negative feelings are relinquished, the source reveals itself. The source of all these things, negativity reveals itself. Once the source reveals itself, the source has to be surrendered. Surrendering is not simply saying, I surrender this. We have to go into the level of the source of this negativity. In order to get into that level, we have to surrender the negative feelings initially. To be able to surrender the negative feeling, we have to surrender the thoughts associated with it, the sensations associated with it, the egoistic satisfactions associated with it. It is a process, it is a mechanism, it is a practice, it is a technique, it is a path. So when we are able to surrender the negative feelings, relinquish them, the source reveals itself. Till then the source does not reveal. Once the source reveals, surrender that source also. Then we get disidentified with that very source. When we get disidentified with that source of negativity, which is the cause of all suffering and pain, the ego gets dissolved automatically. That is why in this path of surrender, we have nothing to do with that. The ego gets dissolved. It cannot stand. Once the source of negativity is surrendered, the ego cannot survive. Because the ego survives on that source of negativity. The ego thrives on the source of negativity. The energy, the feed, the food, the vitamins, the strength, the nourishment, all comes from the source of negativity to the ego. Once the source of negativity is surrendered, the ego dissolves. The ego loses its very basis, very power. The ego becomes powerless and it cannot stand anymore. That is why it is said, the goal of surrender is transcendence. The goal of surrender is attainment of total freedom. That is real freedom. Then we can say we are free. Otherwise, our whole attention will be on freedom that is connected with external factors. That is what we think as freedom. We think we are free. And there are some people say that there are certain countries where there is free living. They are more bound. They think they are living free, but actually they are more bound. So, Sharanagati is a beautiful technique, path, mechanism, goal. Sharanam, when we look at the word Sharanam, Sa, Sha, Sha, it is the second one. Sharanam means to go to for protection, one of the meanings. For the sake of protection, we have to go to somewhere, to go to for protection. Sharanam also means to take shelter with. To take shelter with. Sharanam also means to submit to. To submit to. We submit ourselves. To submit to. Sharanam also means a place of refuge. Gati means a way, a path. Gati, a way, a path. Gati also means a means. Sharanagati. Gati means means. Gati also means alternative. So that itself, like the path itself says, hey, you need not live like this, there is an alternative. You need not suffer like this, there is an alternative. You need not react like this, there is an alternative. There is some other way. There is an alternative to this. Why don't you explore? Why don't you try? That itself is the meaning here, an alternative. A recourse. Gati also means. And another beautiful meaning is, Gati means an entrance to divinity. What a beautiful meaning is this. An entrance to divinity. Sharanagati. If you do the Sharanam, submitting oneself, surrendering oneself to take shelter with, to go for protection, when you take it, it's an entrance to divinity. How beautiful it is. What a beautiful meaning is this. It is an entrance to divinity. Another meaning, an access to obtain the divine. Gati means an access to obtain the divine. Now the word Sharanagati becomes more potent. Otherwise, Sharanagati, it's an entrance to divinity, an access to obtain the divine. Sharanam and Gati, Sharanagati. Shiryate, Shrunati, Dukkhadikamiti, Sharanam. Shru Himsayam. This is the derivative meaning. Shiryate, Shrunati, Dukkhadikamiti, Sharanam. Sharanam also means house, that which perishes. So we have to surrender to that which is imperishable, not to that which perishes. Otherwise, generally we are doing that only. We are surrendered and submitting ourselves to that which perishes, which is perishable. All perishable things we surrender unto. So we have to surrender to that imperishable. Then Sharanam also means the one who protects. Not only that, our beautiful meaning here is Shiryate, Shrunate, Dukkhadikamiti Sharanam. The one who destroys, the one who ruins, the one who makes these things useless and worthless. What are these things? Misery. One who destroys the misery, one who ruins the misery. But misery is ruining us otherwise. But when we take this Sharanam, the one, the divine being of whom we take this Sharanam, he will ruin this misery, destroy the misery. The very surrender, the path of surrender itself destroys and ruins the misery. Not only that, misery and others. What are these others? Apathy, depression, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, stress, illness, disease, all of them will be ruined. How nice it is. When apathy, depression, misery, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, stress, illness, they are all ruined. How? Surrender. If we can surrender truly, all this will be ruined. So Sharanam means this, and also one who strengthens and enhances. What he strengthens and enhances? The courage inside us, the capacity of acceptance inside us, and then he strengthens and enhances love and peace through Sharanam. How beautiful and how beneficial is this path of surrender, Sharanam, Sharanagati. Very beautiful path. So to whom we should surrender? To the imperishable. And who is that? Chidamsham vibhum nirmalam nirvikalpam niriham nirakaram omkaravacham gunatitam avyaktamekam turiyam param brahmayam veda tasmai namaste param brahmayam veda tasmai namaste chidamsham vibhum nirmalam nirvikalpam niriham nirakaram omkaravacham gunatitam avyaktam ekam turiyam param brahmayam veda tasmai namaste param brahmayam veda tasmai namaste chidamsham vibhum nirmalam nirvikalpam niriham nirakaram omkaravacham gunatitam avyaktam ekam turiyam param brahmayam veda tasmai namaste Salutations to the Divine Being. We are offering our salutations to the Divine Being. To begin the process of surrender, we need to accept the greatness of the one to whom we surrender. We should know about that one. We should know very clearly what is the nature of that one, what is the level of that one, what is the divinity of that one, what is the consciousness content of that one. So that is why we are trying to know. Param Brahmayam Veda Tasmai Namaste. Salutations to the Divine Being, who is thought of by whom? Not by the foolish and stupid. Who is thought of by the learned and wise. Learned and wise means those people who are learned in the Vedanta, in the great scriptures. The people of great divine knowledge. So, who is thought of by the learned and wise as Chidamsham, Chidamsham, that portion of consciousness. This world is a mixture of Chit and Achit, conscious and not conscious, Jnanam and Ajnanam, knowledge and ignorance. This world is a mixture of both. In that, the Chit portion is Bhagavan. A sadhaka has to approach in this manner. In that, Chit portion is Bhagavan. So we have to hold on to the Chit portion. We have to get away from the Achit portion. We have to hold on to the Jnana portion. We have to let go of the Ajnana portion. Chidamsham vibhum nirmalam nirvikalpam. So, this Chit portion is Bhagavan. So, how is he? If this Chit portion is Bhagavan, Chidamsham vibhum. Vibhum means the one who shines inside and outside the objects. He is shining inside us also, He is shining outside us also. Actual shine belongs to Him only. If anybody looks at our face and says, hey, it is glowing, maybe there was too much of light outside. Or there is so much of nice practices, spiritual practices that the person might have done, so there is no more peace and more light beams out. But that light doesn't belong to these outer layers, but belongs to the inner presence. Even the external source of light also belongs to that light only, belongs to that God only. So Vibhum means He who shines inside the objects, outside the objects. So if we want to become more shining and glowing, be more closer to Vibhu and say, oh Prabhu, and He will take care. So Vibhum, Chidamsham Vibhum Nirmalam Nirvikalpam. Nirmalam, meaning He has no impurity at all. He has no impurity of Maya. Maya, Malam is not there. That is why it is Nirmalam. That Malam of Maya is not there. Impurity of Maya is not there. So when Maya is not there, illusion, delusion, confusion, tension, agitation, nothing is there. So He is Nirmalam. Chidamsham Vibhum Nirmalam Nirvikalpam. He is Nirvikalpam. He is beyond the duality of subject and object. Our whole life is in this dualistic level of perception. I am the subject, the other one is the object. And to the other one is the subject, I am the object. Then what happens? When I say I am the subject, you are all objects. Then you will also smile, hey, you are also object, because we are the subject. So finally everybody is object only. So this dualistic world, subject-object relationship. And if you go a little deeper into it, up to the higher states of experiences, till we transcend even that experiencer, even then there is this, that experiencer, experiencing, experience, the knower, knowing, and the known. The one, Nirvikalpam means who is beyond the knower, known, knowing Triphuti. The subject-object duality. He is beyond that. Nirvikalpam. There is no Vikalpa only, because there is nothing. He is beyond all these limitations. Beyond the knower, known, knowing also. So if somebody says, I know about my real self, but still that knowing is there. That is why the great masters who really know, they don't say anything, because what is there to say? And to whom you will say? And how will they will understand? Because whatever you say, they believe, that's all they know. And to make them believe, you can say anything, whether you have it or not. That is why the real master will never say anything. Because there is no point in saying, because that feeling is felt in the presence of the person. When somebody has attained, that presence, that feeling only is felt. So, Chidamsham Vibhum Nirmalam Nirvikalpam Niriham Nirakaram Omkara Vachyam. Niriham. He is without wish. He has no wishes to be fulfilled. He is without desires. He is without longing. Then only He can fulfill our wishes, our desires, our longings. If I am busy with my wishes, my desires, my longing, how can I look at your wishes? That is what is the complaint, no? You are not taking care of me, not looking at me, not bothered about me, Why all this? It's because I have my wishes, my longing, my desire. You have your wishes, your longing, your desire, and both of us are staying together like two sides of the same coin. And what is happening? I am busy with my pursuit, you are busy with my pursuit, and both of us agitate and file suits because of our pursuits. And then finally, if there is no result, they shoot. Earlier they shoot words, then they shoot bullets. That is what it is. So that is why it is said, we need to understand that we have to surrender to somebody who has no desires. That is how we have to surrender to a person. Only a desireless person can be a guru. A wishless. Whatever wishes the guru has, only for our sake, not for one's own sake. Then only can be a real master. Otherwise, in this nowadays, in the world of advertisement, anybody can become a master. I will only tell I am master. You disprove. Who has time to disprove? I will only say, I will only make a write-up and then I will present it. And you read the write-up. That is why you see so many write-ups. They all say we are self-made man. Self-made up men. So, Niriham, Bhagavan Vishnu, who is Parabrahma, he is wishless, desireless. There is nothing he needs to get fulfilled. He is fulfilled. He is fully filled by his own consciousness. So, Niriham. Niriham Nirakaram Omkara Vacham. Nirakaram. He is without the form. He can take a form also. He can be without the form also. But let us not think Nirakaram means he cannot take the form. He can take the form also. If he wants. He is Nirakaram, beyond the form. The form has changes, the form has limitations, the form has time, the form has division, but he is Nirakaram, meaning he has no such limitations. Niriham Nirakaram Omkara Vacham. He is expressed as the meaning of the word Om. He is spoken of, he is addressed as Omkara. When we say Om, it is he who is addressed. Om, he alone is addressed. He, the one who is addressed when we say Om, is that Chidamsham. Gunatitam avyaktamekam turiyam. He is Gunatita. He is beyond all gunas, all properties, all qualities. Gunatitam. We are all in gunas. He is beyond gunas, so he can take us beyond gunas. Only a Gunatita can make us attain Gunatita sthiti. Gunatitam avyaktam. He is avyaktam. He is that state of unmanifest from whom all the manifestations happen. Anything that manifests at the micro level or macro level happens only from him, because he in that unmanifest state allows that manifestation to happen. From that avyakta sthiti, all are becoming vyakta, manifest. That is how the microparticles manifest, the galaxies manifest, the solar systems manifest, everything manifests from that unmanifest. And he is in that state of unmanifest. That is not ultimate state, but he is there. He alone is. So he alone has to become first state, second state, third state, everything. Gunatitam avyaktam. So that is why, so when we say unmanifest, then people will get doubt, oh, he has so many, he is so many. Then that is why it is said, Ekam turiyam. Ekam. He is one alone. One ekam. One without any kinds of differences. No differences, no divisions. He is one, only one. And sometimes it is said not even that one without a second. Ekam turiyam. Turiyam, is he present like us? We are present in waking state. I think we are all present in waking state now. And we are present in dream state. And we are present in deep sleep state. 3 states. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. And we go through these 3 states all the while. And whatever we have in one state is not there in second state. Whatever we have in second state is not there in third state. This simple knowledge only proves that whatever we have in each particular state doesn't continue to be there in the second state. So they are all not really real. They are illusorily real. But we give undue importance and get attached to these things. We think that they are permanent. What they are permanent? What is in waking is not in dream. What is in dream is not in deep sleep. What is in deep sleep is not in waking. That itself tells us there is nothing that is permanent to get attached to here in this world. But this Turiya means he is the 4th state of consciousness which is present in all the 3 states. He is there in waking, he is there in dream, he is there in deep sleep. All the states are in him. He is not in them from the other angle. He is there in all of them, but all these are in him. He is that consciousness in whom waking state appears, dream state appears, deep sleep state appears. गुणातीतमव्यक्तमेकं तुरीयं परं ब्रह्म यं वेद तस्मै नमस्ते. He is the Parabrahman. And not only that, when it is said Turiyam, here one nice meaning is there which says, the very fact that he says he is called as Turiya means he is present in waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. If he is present, how to attain him? If he is present somewhere, then to reach there, to go there, it might be difficult. If he is present in waking state, he is here only. If he is present in dream state, he is there also. If he is present in deep sleep, he is there also. अरे मैं सो गया बट वो जाग के है. See, I am in deep sleep but he is there. Everything else that is connected with me is not there in deep sleep, but he is there. The meaning what? We can attain him through awareness. That is the meaning Turiyam means. Because he is present in waking, dream and deep sleep state, he can be attained through awareness. Let us become more aware. Starting from the feelings onwards, the thoughts associated with them, sensations associated with them, the egoistic satisfactions associated with them, the negativity is the source, and then become aware, and slowly we go into that state where we become aware of Turiya, the one presence. Param Brahma Yam Veda Tasmai Namaste. He who is recognized in this manner, Param Brahma Yam Veda. He who is meditated upon in this manner by the wise people. He who is recognized in this manner, who is meditated upon in this manner by the wise people, to such a divine being, we offer our salutations. Param Brahma Yam Veda Tasmai Namaste. We are offering our salutations unto that divinity, unto that Bhagavan. So, now this is the source which is there always. This is the consciousness, this is the divinity, this is the Bhagavan who is there always, unto whom we have to surrender. If we have to surrender all these things, where we can surrender? Who is there to really help us, to guide us, to take these things away from us? If we are maintaining an intention to surrender, if we cultivate that spiritual intention to surrender, who will help? He who helps us to really make the surrender effective. All that we need to do is, I want to surrender this. That has to come in us. To make that happen, we need to do a lot of sadhana. To recognize the presence of divinity wherever we are, and to say that I surrender this. So in waking state, if we have issues, surrender. If in dream state, surrender. Deep sleep state, surrender. We can surrender, and then we can be with him. And when we surrender, we become more loving. When we surrender, we become more happy. When we surrender, we become more peaceful. When we surrender, we become more easygoing. How nice it is. So, by the grace of Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra Ji, Sri Krishna Bhagavan, Vishnu Bhagavan, and Bhavani Mata, all these slokas are from Sri Adi Shankaracharya Ji and various stotras. By his grace, by the grace of the Guru Parampara, we will try to pick up one or two or few slokas from these things which are connected with these manifestations of divinity, and try to know the path of surrender. we have certain closing prayers. Please try to repeat after me. Yada varnayat kala, yada varnayat karna, मूलेंत काले शिवो राम रामेति रामेति काश्याम तदेकं परम तारक ब्रह्म रूपम भजेहम नमः सच्चिदानंद रूपाय तस्मै नमो देवदेवाय रामाय तुभ्यं नमो जानकी जीवितेशाय तुभ्यं नमः पुंडरीकाय अक्षाय तुभ्यं सदा राम रामेति नामामृतं ते सदा राममानन्द निष्यन्दकन्दं पिबन्तं नमन्तं सुदन्तं हसन्तं हनुमन्तमन्तर् भजेतं नितान्तं हनुमन्तमन्तर् भजेतं नितान्तं प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रचंड प्रताप प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रचंडारिकाल प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रसन्नानुकंपिन् प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रसन्नानुकंपिन् प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो रामचंद्र प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो रामचंद्र प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रभो रामचंद्र प्रभो रामचंद्र प्रभो रामचंद्र सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।